Hi everybody, and welcome back to part 3 of our Let's Make series number 5, the Christmas Noel album. In this part we're going to make page 2, let me just show you, which is this one here. It's got an open out flap secured with a tag, and then just a couple of tags behind it, and then some detail behind that. So let me take you through what we need to put it all together. Let's just move that out of the way. Put it over there so that I know what I'm following. Okay, so we need the paper bag that we started on. Oops. And we need to make sure that that is the right way up. So let's turn it over. So paper bag to start, and then for the base paper I use the holly paper, and that's cut at 4.5 by 8 inches. And then before I put the fold out on it, I cut out a strip using the on the edge die, that's the snowflake die. Inked it and covered it in stickles. It's the frosted lace stickles, give it a bit of sparkle. So that one's going to go down there like that. Out of one of the borders on the paper I cut a strip and edged it in the Martha Stewart hole punch, if you can see that, and that just fits across the bottom like that. And then for our fold out section we need a piece of black card or cardstock that is 3 3/4 inches high by 8 inches in length, and that needs to be scored 2 inches in from either side to form a 4x4 square. And then I cut out one of the pictures to fit that 4x4, just slightly smaller actually than the 4x4 square, and then I cut the picture in half because we're going to stick it either side of that. And then for inside the fold out part I cut one of these shapes. This was from my X-cut, they're not nestabilities but very similar, X-cut dies. I used the largest one to cut out one of these shapes, and then I cut that in half to give me the bottom pocket that's going to go inside here. And then I cut 2 corners off from the other half. I think I probably cut about 1 centimetre out of the middle of it, and that's for the pockets either side there. Okay, so let's build all of that up and then we'll do the tags to finish. So first of all we want to stick our paper down. Let's take the tag out that we put in the paper bag and stick this paper down and cut the semicircle out from this edge. So let me just glue this. Okay, all glued, so I'm going to stick that on to my bag. Again, lining it up 1/4 inch from the edge that we've cut the semicircle in. Get it straight. I'm not used to working on paper bags, it's very strange. They're a bit floppy. Okay, so that's all stuck down. I did ink this paper before I stuck it down quite heavily with vintage photo, just to give it an oldie-worldy look. Now we need to cut the semicircle out. So turning the bag over, I'm just going to line up my punch with the edge I've cut already. and cut that semicircle out from that side, and then I'm going to ink that before we do anything else. Okay, let's make sure it's the right way again. Now I'm going to stick my snowflakes on, so I'm just going to stick those along that bottom edge. Let's just ink that a little bit. Doesn't look too cream then. So again, just some tacky glue all along the bottom edge, and then on the tops of the snowflakes so that they don't stick up. Okay. And then I want that over here, so I'm just going to stick that down just slightly above the edge of the paper that's underneath. Just hold them down just to catch them. Oh. Pesky little snowflakes, they're not sticking. That's it. Okay, and then over the top of that I'm going to add my holy strip. Let's just cut that actually. It should be 8 inches long, same as the paper. So let's just trim it there. Okay. And then I'm just going to glue that again all the way along, and then just a little bit around the top of the scallops. But not so much as it will ooze through the holes. Okay. And then this one I'm actually going to line up with that bottom piece of paper. So and that just gives a better decoration to the bottom of that page. Okay, now for our fold pocket, flap, I don't know what you call it, that's going to sit on here like that. So I'm going to move the bag. So this is your 8x8 piece, folded in half and scored at the edges. And then we're going to stick on the picture that we've chosen either side like that. I've cut it so that there's 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch all the way around each picture, so that we get that black border showing. So again, glue all the way around the edge, a little bit in the middle, and then let's just work that glue towards the edge so that certainly the corners catch. It's the corners that always start to curl up, and stick it down. Okay, and then do the same with the other piece. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just work the glue towards the edges. Turn over and stick down. And that's the outside of it done. Okay, now we're going to work on the inside. Oops, excuse me. I've moved the camera as well so that you've got a better view. if it's looking different. For the inside pockets, I cut a shape like that. You could cut any shape if you haven't got these cutters, and cut it in half and then cut it in quarters so that it fits inside like that. I've used cream cardstock and I've inked the edges with vintage photo just to give them an aged look, and then using my sticky glue I'm just going to stick those down. So glue just around the straight edges, again just flatten it so it doesn't squidge out, and then place in the corner, leaving a black edge as straight as you can. mine's not straight, that's it. Okay, so that's one, and then the other side. Bit of glue just around the edge. This is just cheap tacky glue from our local crafts store here in the UK, but readily available everywhere, I think. Okay, stick that one down as well. Apologies if this looks funny, I'm doing it upside down. As my stickle's gone. And then for the middle flap or pocket, just around the straight edges again, flatten the glue down, so it doesn't squidge out, and then line that one up. I trimmed that actually, I forgot to say, just so that it fitted inside the folds of this section. And that's the pockets done. That did squidge out a bit. Okay. So into those pockets I'd put just some little cutouts from the paper. Let me find them. First one, I've got a pile of them here. Just two of the little tags. I was sort of using things up, filling up the pockets. This one I haven't cut out yet, so let's just cut that one out. But you could put anything inside. Just snip those edges off. I'm just going to ink that, just quite roughly, just to get rid of those white cut edges, really. And then that one just fitted in there. Let me just ink that one as well. Didn't cut that very well. Let me just cut the green off. And cut the green off here. Okay, so we've inked those little tags to go in there. And then for the middle, I'd cut out one of the tags from the paper and then cut a rectangle, and I've used these cutters quite a lot throughout this album. Again, they're X-cut oblong, scalloped oblongs. I used the second size down to cut, if you can see, X-cut. But I shortened the actual cut by, once I cut the oblong out, replacing it on so that I cut, I don't know how to explain it, but I cut it down so that it fitted the size of this die, just by replacing it over the cutting edge of the die. I moved it up and recut it, and that gave me a smaller scalloped tag. Inside that I've got two little white or cream, lost one, areas for journaling. So let me just stick those down. definitely have lost one. Oh, I can see. So again, I'm just going to put some glue on here. Stick one on. And then glue number 2. This is just quite fine card, it's not cardstock, and I just buy it from our local craft shop, and I think it comes in packs of 50 sheets for £2 or £3. It's quite good, but not thick enough to make pages, but great for just little journaling spots. So they're stuck down, and then I'm just going to thread some of my seam binding through the top, she says. I should be able to get it through the hole. This is really fiddly. Oh, cool. Yeah, done it. And then I'm just going to tie that. Let's cut the other end. Just one loop I do. Pull it quite tight. And there's my little tag to go in that inside pocket there. And then just to finish off inside, I'd cut some of the stamps out of the paper, and I'm just going to stick them on like that. So let's just do that. Ink those. I thought I'd done all the inking before I started, but obviously I hadn't. So stick down number 1, stick down number 2. Actually, let's ink them all first. And then to finish off the bag, or this page, I have put tape across those bottom 2 edges of the fold out section and stuck that down, and then I've made a tag with a button at the top rather than, I had a snowflake on the original tag but thought it was a bit flimsy really to catch this page together, and the button is one of the buttons that I've made that I'm going to put on the top of all of the photo mats. So I've cut it out of the X-cut circles. It's got a scalloped edge to it, 2 pieces of paper and a piece of very thin chipboard in the middle just to give it some strength. I've stuck the top piece of paper down and half of the back piece, and then punched 2 holes through and tied the ribbon, or seam binding. And then the back paper I've stuck down onto the back of the tag, but left the front unstuck. And it's that front bit that catches. I'm going to slide the tag behind this fold out section, push it down, and it's the front of that button that catches and keeps that closed. And then just to finish off, there's a couple of tags that slot in underneath here. One cut straight from the paper, and the other one I've used one of the Carol sheets, backed it with black card, cut a hole, put an eyelet through, around rather. The eyelet is one of the tiny tabs and tags, cut out from the tiny tabs and tags die, and put one of those on both sides. Just tied a bit of seam binding through, and that one just slots in behind there as well. And that finishes the page off. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and look forward to seeing you for the next page shortly.